All right, hi everybody. So in this video here, we're going to solve the inequation here, x squared minus 12 less than 4x. And just like we do with a lot of the quadratic equations, we're going to bring everything over to one side, just like that. I'm going to bring the 4x over so that I've got the quadratic and I'm comparing it to 0 there. So I'm interested in what values of x make this quadratic less than 0. And remember, that what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what this looks like as a graph here. So I'm going to look at what happens when y is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 12. And I'm going to use that graph to help me answer this question. So when I make this comparison, I know that this x squared minus 4x minus 12 is actually the y coordinate of the points that I'm looking at. And there's a reason why that's significant. We'll get back to that in just a second. So the first thing I'm going to do, just like I would over here if I was going to graph that, I'm going to factor this so that I can figure out what the x-intercepts of that graph are going to be here. When I do that, I'm looking for two factors of negative 12, whose sum is going to be negative 4. And after just a little bit of thinking here, I get that that's going to be negative 6 and 2. Now, I'm going to convert that into x-intercepts of this graph here. And I know that this is going to cross, okay, that this whole thing is going to equal 0. If I can think of it like this is going to equal 0 when x is equal to 6 or negative 2, meaning that if I take a quick look at my graph here, that's not very good. Take a quick look at my graph here. When x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 6, this is going to be my x-intercepts. My graph's going to look something like this, going to come down, come back up, and away we go. The question that I'm asking is, where is this graph less than 0? But I'm asking, where are the y coordinates less than 0? So that's not in quadrants 1 or 2. In quadrants 1 and 2, the y coordinates of these points are all going to be positive. That's what it means to be quadrant 1 and 2 here. What I'm looking for are the I'm looking for the points here that are in quadrants 3 and 4. And here I can guarantee that the y coordinates will be negative. Now, where does that occur? Well, at negative 2 and 6, the values of the y coordinates of those points are going to be equal to 0. And notice that from my inequality, I'm not including those. But we're ignoring all this stuff up here. If I just look at the values of x between negative 2 and 6, any value of x that I use in between there is going to produce a y coordinate that is, in fact, less than 0. And I can test that really quickly if I was to pick, and let's pick 0, for example, because 0 is right here. This is where x is going to equal 0. If I go back into my equation here, y equals 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 12, I, in fact, get a y coordinate of negative 12. So there we go. I am getting a y coordinate that's negative here. So that is going to happen so long as x is greater than negative 2, but at the same time less than 6. And if I was to write that in interval notation, I would write that as negative 2 out to 6. So x is going to be any value in that particular interval.